Hey, so I've noticed more and more over the years that there seems to be a growing number of people who are unfamiliar with how to hand wash knitted items or crocheted items or anything that just needs to be hand washed in general that you don't want to dry clean. So I'm going to make a video on how I personally will hand wash my handmade items, and maybe it'll help you too. So real life moment, we're in my bathroom. I live here. I don't want to hear nothing. I try to keep it as tidy as possible. Your bathroom's probably as bad as mine. anyway, so let's get started. So if you're like me and you live with like a bajillion cats, I don't photo my cats for some reason, but I live with a bajillion cats. Your stuff is probably going to have some cat hair on it, right? So what I would do, there's this thing called a gleaner. And it's actually a really cool tool. I am not sponsored, but it's a really cool tool. So it's got this fuzzy thing here that you can get hair off with, you know. It's kind of like, what do you call it? Those things on a tube where you just kind of go like this and get the hair off and stuff. It does the same thing. So this is actually the first time I use this because I usually use duct tape. That's embarrassing. But yeah, I mean, you know. So you're going to go through and you're going to get the hair off as much as you can. And then also the other tools that are on a gleaner, because it's mostly used for the little pills that you get, you know, over here when you're on your knitted items and whatever. It comes in 3 different coarseness. So it's actually numbered on the back. 1, that's a 3. That's a 2. I don't know if you can see those numbers, but they're in there. And then the first one looks like this, and it's pretty rough. So I would probably use this. Actually, I don't think I've ever used this on any of my knits because it's just that rough. So I don't know what pill that you would need that one for. This is a number 2. I use that one a lot. This is more for like woolly wools. Not that they really pill all that much, but you will get pilling if you use it enough. So I'll use it for that. And then the really fine one says number 3. And this one you can use for most of your knits to de-pill. I'm not going to be using these today. I don't think so. I'm just hand washing my husband's hat. So, all right, so I'm going to get to getting the cat hair off, and then we can actually get to the meat of this video. Okay, so you really don't need a whole lot of space. A sink like this will take care of most of what you want, unless you're doing a sweater or something. Then you want to get a basin, or you can go into the pet aisle and get like a litter box that's pretty sizable and just kind of give it a wipe and then use that for washing stuff. I'm just going to use my sink over here. So you want to get yourself some wool wash. Hold that up. Okay, so I'm not sponsored. I usually use Euclid, but I know Chemnitz uses dish soap to wash yarn when she's dyeing, so I don't see why you can't use dish soap. The only thing is that, from what I hear, that the detergent will, if you're using natural wool, will get rid of that lanolin a little bit more than you would like. So, but just use something mild. Probably even use your laundry detergent. I don't know. But I use lukewarm to cool water, so I'm going to do that. I don't measure. I just do like a small dollop of soap. See if you can see how I do that. Boom. That's it. This is a no rinse detergent, so I just let it soak for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. I give it a swish around. I like to turn everything inside out, but you don't have to do that. That's just me. Throw it in there. Push it in the water. see if I can get you a better angle of this. And then just let it sit. Boop shot. Let it sit for, 10-15 minutes or something like that. If it's something that takes a longer time for the water to get through the fibers, and you might want to do like a half an hour. Just let it sit, and then we'll be back in, well, I'll be back in 10 minutes. So it'll be like 2 seconds for you. And then I'll show you what I do to dry it. I should also mention, if you've got anything that looks a little bit soiled, I should probably show you how to do that too. So let's pretend that this is soiled, right? So what you're gonna do is you kind of want to rub just a little bit on wherever the spot is. You don't want to go like this with it. You don't want to take 2 parts of the fabric and go like that or whatever, because all you're doing is basically felting your item. So you just kind of want to be gentle with it, swish it around a little bit, rub your finger over it a little bit, pretty gently. There's a cat here, of course, and just let it go, because the soaking and the wool wash should take care of most of your stains, unless it's really bad, in which case, you might want to go talk to somebody else, because I don't know what to tell you. I'm not an expert. I just know what works for me. All right, and now I'll be back in 10-15 minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I just drained the water, so this is nice and soaking. With anything, when you're hand washing, don't wring it out. Don't go like this or anything. Just squeeze it. So I like to hold one half of it and kind of just squeeze all the water out from one side. Squeeze the water out from the other side. If you want, you can kind of fold it in a different direction. Squeeze it out. I have a towel right here that I'm going to lay my hat on. Now, this I know is the tricky part for a lot of people for hand washing. So there's a few options here. Now you can, if you've got the space, put it on the towel, kind of shape it the way you want it, leave it to dry. It'll probably take depending on if it's super wash or not, it might take a day, it might take 2 days. If you don't have that, what I would probably do is just take it, push down on it, like twist it up in a towel like that, push down on it, try to get as much water out as possible. I mean, obviously this is going to work better for hats and gloves. If you're doing a shawl and you don't have the space to lay it out flat, what I would do is do this method where you have it in a towel and you can squeeze out as much water as possible. With the shawls, I would do the same thing, squeeze it out, and then get a hanger. Let me get you a hanger so you can see a visual here. Get yourself a hanger that looks like this, where it's open in the inside. And what I would do with a shawl is, after you squeeze all the water out, fold it in half and then put it in here so that it can kind of hang to dry if you can't lay it flat to dry. That would be an option. If you're doing a sweater, I would not hang it. I would try to squeeze out as much as possible, put it into another towel, and let it lay it flat wherever you can. Yeah, so now what I'm gonna do, since I do have the space to lay this out, is I'm going to go and put it in my craft room with another hat that I just recently washed, and they're both gonna lay out flat to dry. And since this is super wash yarn, it will be dry by tomorrow. And I still have a cat here because I have a lot of cats. They don't go in my craft room though, so if you're worried about cat hair in your yarn, you don't have to worry about that. I try very hard to make sure they don't go in there. All right, and that's it. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, put them down below. And if you have any suggestions for anything better, by all means. I am not an expert, so go right ahead. I will not be offended. All right, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.